Hi everyone, we're just looking at how to create a contour plan, and the first part of that is to have a grid plan. Here we have our grid plan. The grid modules are 5 meters apart, which means that from A to B is 5 meters, from B to C is 5 meters, from 1 to 2 is 5 meters, and from 2 to 3 is 5 meters. This is grid point A1, B1 and C1, etc. So the first thing we do, we've got to put our readings in there. So the reading we took at A1 was 110.2. There's a 0 there. So you left click in the box to delete that number. Then you put your reading in there. Then we do B1, then C1. Then we do A2, B2, C2, then A3, B3, and C3. And that is your grid pattern just completed to this stage. Our next step is to draw the contour lines, which are our heights. We'll start with 110.2. We're very lucky here, right on the intersection of A1 is grid point, is the height 110.2. And we've got to find somewhere else where this 110.2 intersects. And somewhere between 110.1 and 110.5 is 110.2. So we have to, our grid points will be A2 and B2. So we've got to put that in our contour graph over here. There we have the A2, B2, we have the RL height, and then we follow this formula. And the formula says highest level minus contour level. So here we have 110.5 being the highest level, minus the contour level, which is 110.2, and it's divided by the highest level, which is 110.5, minus the lowest level, which is 110.1. So there we have it there. Now we then times it by the line length, okay, the grid line length. Now the grid line length is given to you, it's 40 mil, so we times it by 40 mil, and that gives us the distance from the highest RL that this intersects. So this comes across from 110.2, goes through there and carries through over here to 110.2 there. So we do that we find our next grid point, which is B2 to B3. There we have 110.1 and 110.5. Then we do the same thing, the same setup. We've done the formula, and that's also 30 millimeters from the highest RL. And we just continue through at each point. There's nowhere else now on that plan that has 110.2. So we now look for 110.4. And we just go through the same process. The numbers change. We find that the number of intersections there. And then we go to the next, we keep going through with where we find the intersections. Then we find our last one is there, and then we find 110.6. Now 110.6, the only place we can find it is in between here. Okay, so what we do with this is just slightly different. The line length from that point there to that point there is given, and it's 57. So, and that's what that calculation is based on. Okay, the only time it'll change from 40 is when there's a diagonal. Next, we mark where our contour lines intersect on our grid plan. Okay, our first one is A2 to B2, which is over here, A2 to B2. So we left click on that arrow. We left click on format, we go over here, the line length needs to be 30 millimeters, which is 3 centimeters, so I just keep increasing that. I'm left clicking, there it is there. So then I grab that, I put that on the A2 to B2 line, I then grab the tab, I still left click, grab it, bring it over to the end of the arrow and put it there. Okay, just grab the arrow and put it back out of the road. Then our next one is B2 to B3. So I left click on that arrow. I left click on format. Left click on format. I go over here and it has to be increased again to 30 millimeters, which is 3 centimeters. then I've just left click that up to that number, bring it over, and then I put it over there. Then I grab the tab, bring the tab, put the tab over there, and that's done. We then continue to put our contour intersections on our grid plan. It'll be A1 to B1, A2 to B2, B2 to B3, C2 to C3, and C1 to B1. Our final step is to just insert the contour lines. So what we do, we go up here to insert, we left click, we go to shapes, we select the wiggly line, and here we have, we're going to actually do the contour height of 110.2. So here we go. Keep your finger down the whole time, don't lift your finger up. It's on the mouse. So there we go. There's our contour line, completed at 110.2. We'll now put another one in. I left click, I go to shapes, I left click again, go to the wiggly line, and I'm going to put it in on our 110.4. It's a contour line, so it's not straight from point to point, so I don't take my finger off. Then I go back once more for our final one. I left click, I go to shapes, click the wiggly line, and it goes, here's our 110.6 intersection through here and then back. Okay. And finally, we just answer the last 3 questions. Calculate the difference in height from A1 to C3. Then mark the lowest point, and then show the direction the land is falling. Okay, that's it. That's complete. Just follow the process, and you'll be fine. Thanks.